Hi, and welcome back to Beyond the Monsters. Today I have Angelique with us. All right, Angelique, you start wherever you're comfortable.
I guess we could just kind of start with the beginning of the story. I was born and raised in Colorado in a very, very small town in between. It's called Montrose. Nobody's ever heard of Montrose. So I tell people it's in between Grand Junction and Telluride because most everybody's heard of Telluride. A lot of famous rich people are up there. And in 2010, I moved to Gainesville for that reason that every young woman does at least once in her life. But I love him.
Oh,
And so I found myself in Florida, and I had been there exactly a year, a month, and a day when this happened. I didn't have a car or a driver's license at the time, so public transportation was kind of my primary way of getting around. I remember my boyfriend at that time and I had gotten into an argument a couple of months prior to this incident, and I ended up on probation out of said argument. So it was the 4th of July in 2011, and he and I had stayed up partying, drinking, carrying on. And I had a probation meeting the very next morning. It was a Tuesday, July 5th, 2011. My meeting with my probation officer was at 10:30, and I went, still kind of intoxicated from the night before. How she did not note it. Like, I mean, I must have just been Meryl Streep in there that day because I sold it. And she did not. But after the fact, when I went back to speak, she felt so bad because if she would have noticed and violated me that day, I would have gotten
yeah,
arrested and been in jail. But nobody had any way of knowing.
right.
Um, I left the meeting and I went to a very famous local spot on University Avenue in Gainesville, go Gators, called the Copper Monkey. And I had a couple of drinks and I was there for probably about an hour. And then I went, there was a bus stop directly in front. It was right across the street from UF. So there's a bus stop right in front of the establishment. And I was waiting at the bus stop, and a silver ish kind of pickup truck pulled up, kind of chubby, super glasses, kind of look like Santa Claus. I remember like that was my knee jerk. This guy looks, he's giving Santa Claus energy. He was like, "Hey, it's really, really hot. The bus isn't coming for like another 30 minutes." He was totally right. He's like, "Where are you headed? You want me to give you a ride?" Well, I'm intoxicated. Can't really tell you where I'm headed because this isn't my bus route. Are you taking the same route as the bus? Because if you're not, I don't know. But I could tell as soon as I got in the vehicle that something was really, really wrong. I looked at him and it was just something about his eyes. You know how you always hear that a lot, like on the
Mm-hmm.
IDs, and his eyes were black. I found out later that that's actually a biological chemical thing that they become so excited at actually living out the fantasy that they've perpetuated over and over and over that it's like a flush of chemicals that dilates their eyes,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought, wow, I just always thought that was maybe just like the trauma you were seeing at that. No, it's actually a real thing. Their eyes are dilated, and that's why all you see is
It's like that
black.
blank stare.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And we started kind of tussling we were on 75 South. I do distinctly remember being on the freeway, and I was ready to do a whole tuck and roll, girl. Like, I'd rather be road meat hamburger at 75 miles an hour than whatever. I remember watching an episode of Oprah in the mid 90s, to telling myself as far as age. And I remember it was one that where she featured this woman, and she told this lady, the experts say if you allow yourself to be taken to a second location, statistically, the odds are greater that you will be killed.
Mhm.
And so that's all I could keep thinking of is you have got to get out of this before you get to a second location. Well, we pull into the second location and I'm looking around and it is nothing but thick, like the thickest woods. I'm from Colorado where it's kind of, we have woods, but it's open, like there's space. And this is like thick, thick, like horseback ATV type brush and shrubs. And as soon as the vehicle stopped, I, he got out. He hopped out of the driver's side and his cell phone fell out of his back pocket. So I snatched it up. I got it open and got the nine out, and then he knocked me out. I went completely unconscious. I came to, and I am bent over the front passenger seat of his vehicle. I am completely naked. I no longer have any of my clothes on, not my bottoms, not my top, not my shoes, not nothing. Um, he tried to penetrate me anally, vaginally. He could not maintain an erection, which I also found out due to the level of excitement when the fantasy comes to life is very common. And so he forced me to perform oral sex or try to. And when he threw me onto the concrete, it busted both of my knees open. So now I'm there and I'm like, oh my gosh, even if I get up and want to run, I don't know if I'm going to be able to. So he went to go, I can't even remember. I feel like he went to go fumble with his pants or he went to go do something and he looked down very briefly. The totality as far as like the time frame of the actual assault, I can only go off of what's in the reports and what they estimate, and they estimate all told between that and getting away, I was out there for roughly like maybe 3 to 4 hours. And I saw an opportunity. He looked away. I said, okay, if this is your one shot, go get up and see if you could go. But by the grace of God, my knees were not broken, nothing was shattered, and I was able to run. And I remember not looking back. I did not want to. I just like run.
Go.
I was running like Forrest Gump, and I just remember thinking, okay, at some point when you can no longer hear him screaming, "Stop! I'm going to kill you," you need to regroup. And I got.
So he was running after you.
Yeah, he was coming after. Well, he drove. You can see in some of the photographs, you can see the tire tracks pulled up to the water where I started to go through the swamp. He drove as far back as he could get the truck back there to try to come after me. But I was Carl Lewis in the 94 running the last leg for the gold. And we did not look
You
back.
have to stop with these. Someone get in trouble for laughing.
Girl, I can't help it. And I sat down. I remember there's a very kind of well-known story in 2 Kings with Elijah, God's chosen prophet, where he was running from all the craziness that was Jezebel and Ahab and all the stuff that they were doing. And Elijah sits down under a broom tree and he asked God to take his life because he couldn't take it. I remember getting to a tree and I kind of sat down, caught my breath, realized he wasn't coming. And the only conscious memory I really have of most of it is asking God to save mine. I did not want anybody to have to tell my 3 babies that their mom died like that. And the minute it left my lips, my whole body got hot, like from the inside out. And I went on what they estimate to be the longest part through a retention pond, through the woods, over an 8-foot high chain link fence to throw myself into the middle of the road. I remember none of that. None of it. After getting the police reports back, one of the hardest things for me to deal with was reading that people saw me like that and were driving by. Because I can't imagine coming up on that and not trying to do like, hey, are you alive? And I was unconscious. So, I mean, I looked like I could have been dead. And a University of Florida nursing student, if I'm recalling correctly, stopped, wrapped me in a blanket, and put me in the back of her car. And then the next thing I remember is waking up in the back of an ambulance and just losing it, freak like animal in the corner of a cage, like what is, and then we got an intravenous combination of morphine and Ativan, which is the grooviest combination of drugs one has ever entertained. And at that point, hey guys, like what's up? Everybody was my friend. I was real friendly and calm. I get to the hospital, shout out University of Florida Shands, excellent medical care. And one of my most distinct memories, 2 distinct memories from the time at the hospital, when they first brought me in there, I didn't have clothes. All I had was that blanket. But because it was a sexual assault, we have to think about preserving evidence, right? Mm-hmm. So they want to get the blanket off because they don't want it, if there's DNA, touch, trace, light, whatever, they don't want it to pull it. So I'm naked in the middle of the emergency room. And I remember a young guy, real young guy. He might have even been an intern. I don't know. But he came around the corner. He literally at the time, get her out of here. Get her in a trauma room now. She doesn't need to sit out there with everybody else like that. And just the effort to preserve what was left of my dignity in that moment is something that I haven't forgotten all these years later. Then you go, and for those of us that have ever had a sexual assault exam done, you have to deal with the brutality and re-trauma. It's a very thorough, very invasive. After what you've just gone through, it's not what you want to be doing for the next 2.5 to 3 hours.
It's the last way you want to be touched.
You just want to take a shower.
Yeah.
I just wanted to scrub it off, even though I knew that I wasn't going to be able to. But the sane nurse, I actually choose to call her a sane angel. Her name is in the reports. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but she really was an angel. And she was so gentle. And due to the level of violence and the nature of my injuries, I couldn't just stand up in a shower. I couldn't stand up at all. And after they injected the bottoms of my feet with the local anesthesia to pull out all of the stuff that was embedded in the skin, and it was finally time for me to be able to take a shower, I remember her taking the shower. It disconnected, and she just sat me down, and she closed the door and locked it, and she left the curtain open and made sure she kept just telling me, it's just me and you. There's nobody else here. She kept reassuring me that what I had just experienced was not my fault. And she made me feel grounded and safe in a moment where I didn't even think the ground existed anymore. Because although I lived, sexual assault is murder. It is the murder of your soul. It is the murder of your psychological sense of safety. It is the murder of your sense of male-female power dynamic. It just completely flips on its head everything you thought you knew to that point about the world. At least that's what it did for me. So I went home, and I just remember laying in my bed, and the only thing that I could think in my mind was, there is no way this just happened. And I don't care what anybody says about it not being my fault. I got in the truck. It will always be my fault. There was no gun to my head. But no, Ange, you got drunk on a Tuesday and made a bad decision. You didn't break the law. He did. That was not your fault. It's not illegal to do that, Ange. And now they have Uber. It's a multi-million-dollar corporation taking a ride with strangers. Funny thing. I went home, spent that night. Very obviously, detectives are coming back the next day to get more information. That first time that they came to my house and picked me up, and they took me down to the station so that we could do the composite sketch. I remember telling the detective from the hospital bed, I grabbed him like by his lapel and said, this guy has done this before, and he's going to do this again. And to this day, I hate that I was right. The survivor's guilt in this is brutal for me, because I felt like it was single-handedly my responsibility to go get him and find him and do all the things and make sure 2 weeks to the day, 40 miles away in Ocala, a woman was sexually assaulted. And then another 3 weeks after that, and then again, and then again. By the time it was all said and done, 8 of us had actually come forward. I was the first reported on July the 5th, 2011, but during the course of the investigation, they connected him to an attack on a sex worker in a motel back in 2008. So God himself really is the only one. God and him are the only two that know the totality of what he's done.
Right.
But we went, and some of the photographs were from the 10 days later. That was when we went. We did the composite. I had to keep going back to the hospital. They were concerned about like me having a concussion or a potential skull fracture or things of that variety. So I kept having to go back to get CAT scans and testing. And they just wanted to make sure, like, neurologically I was okay, because they were dumbfounded when they saw, like, there's no way she doesn't at bare minimum have a concussion.
Right.
Well, I'm a Taurus, and I was also like 0.24 BAC status. So I think that my drunk hard-headedness saved my life. He had a perfect boxer's break on his right hand. He broke his hand beating me, and went to the hospital to seek treatment that same afternoon. Told his wife that a cabinet had fallen on his hand while he was at work. I went and did that. I remember telling them very specifically, I know me, drunk or not, I would not get in somebody's car and not ask them what their name was, bare minimum. I couldn't recall it, but I remember it's on a tape. I told them it started with an M. I Miguel, I don't know. It started with an M, that I'm sure of, but I can't recall the name. Well, fragmented memories are a real thing. So, the months start going by and more stuff comes back, and I'm calling them, letting them know. I'm working with the victim's advocate from the Alachua County Rape Crisis Center. That was kind of a whole other experience in and of itself. Quick sidebar here. I'm also a nationally recognized credentialed advocate myself, and we have got to stop it with the advocate fluff. That's what I like to call it. It's fluff. It's okay to not be okay. True, but I want to blow my brains out. And what I need you to tell me in this moment is, I know you feel absolutely batshit crazy, Angelique, and that's okay. I know you want to hurt yourself, and that's okay. I know you feel like drinking Jack Daniels for breakfast. That's okay. It's normal. 26 times more likely, actually, according to the stats. But I got a lot of fluff. I got a lot of ho-hum, and never once did I get the truth and reality of this doesn't make it to the courthouse 9 times out of 10. You will get no justice. All of this was foreign to me. And I think advocates need to, straight out of the gate, because of the numbers, hey, statistically, this is an uphill road for you, and it's not going to look good. It's not going to be good. It's going to be hard. This is what you're looking at. This is what... We've got to be honest.
Tell the truth
about that.
Yes.
Because in not doing that, then she gets to these phases and then the bottom falls out and she is not prepared for it. Because never in a million years did I think I would go home with my face looking like that and then be told by a state attorney, although we're very sorry for what you went through, Angelique, it is not fiscally responsible for our office to let you have your day in court. Oh, translation, I'm not worth your money. What is the cost of my life that I almost lost? Girl, if I'm lying, I'm dying. That's exactly what they did to me. Due to the nature of his convictions in the adjacent county, they weren't going to spend the money. And I needed to look him in his face and tell him how he affected my life. I know it's not normal for most sexual assault survivors to want to go to court. None of this was normal. I don't care about normal. I've been in trouble. And that system worked flawlessly each and every time I was a defendant. What is going on here? He didn't just knock me around. I almost lost my life. And I've been waiting for 14 years for any legislator, other advocate, politician, lawmaker, attorneys. Give me a number. Give me a number. What is the dollar value? How do you equate that to a number of a human soul? Because that's what I lost that day. I can't buy that back. And this is your literal job, that you're taking my tax dollars to fail me. It'll never make sense to me. And then I found out how not alone I was in that. That's what happens all the time.
It's just so crazy with the way you looked and everything, too.
The patronization of I'm so sorry.
See it.
Yeah. 10 days
It's not like
later.
they even had to question anything. Like,
oh, I got that a lot. Now, Angelique, we are not saying we don't believe you. Please don't think that's what this is. We're just saying we're not going to do our job for you.
yeah, like I don't need to hear your condescending bullshit.
Well, let's just say he didn't get reelected. Because I know it sounds so strange to people that aren't. First of all, I call it a club. It's like the shittiest club you never, ever wanted to be in. But once you're in it, you are in it. And I love it when God brings me to my people. My survivor community is my family. And I go hard for them. I don't need to know you to love you, God said. And I found that some people wait their whole life to figure out why they're here and what they're meant to do. God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies who he calls. I'm built for this. I'm here for this. He saved me to fight this. And I will never eradicate it completely and all the systemic issues and the problems, but it's like throwing a pebble in a pond. I just need to throw the pebble and watch the ripples spread out. Mm-hmm. And I truly feel that it is why I'm here. It's why I'm alive. It's what I'm supposed to do. Be a voice for the voiceless. Be strong for those us that aren't there yet and show them by living, breathing, everyday example, hey, you could get to the other side of this and be all right. Because I am. And I drank and I drugged and I attempted suicide multiple times. I ended up in a psychiatric treatment facility. I mean, I went to the bottom. Hell and back is an understatement. And now I'm here. I am 11 years sober. I am thriving. I am full-time gainfully employed from the comfort of my living room. Shout out to my employer. I will not drop your name, but you guys are amazing and I love you. And I just, when I see something, say something. You will never catch me being an inactive bystander. Not only I'll scream something. I refer to myself at home in these communities and spaces as your local loudmouth survivor. That's how I introduce myself at the Capitol. Because if there's a problem, or if you're not doing your job, they know. They know what a girl. Sometimes I walk into these rooms and they're like, who let her be?
She's here.
Angelique's here. Oh, God, we're in trouble. They know it better be left, tight, and right. And if it's not, I will very loudly, very publicly hold you accountable. Nobody's paying me to go to bed with what I go to bed with every night for the last 14 years. I didn't get any compensation for this. I didn't even find out about victims' compensation until I was halfway through eligibility to get it. You don't leave the hospital with a here's how to recover from your rape handbook. But there is something called the Rape Recovery Handbook, as if to suggest that I'll read this book and be all better. Like what? This is lifelong. It's a game changer. And the hardest part of it for me is burying July 4th, 2011, Angelique. I never get to be her again. And I don't like people taking my choices away. I don't like to feel powerless. I know that I'm little, but in the words of the great Shakespeare, though she be but little, she is fierce. That's me. Dynamite comes in small packages, my mom always said. I will blow. And I tell people a lot, this is your attorneys, this is your job. This is the business of my life. And what you guys need to understand is you could be the maker or the breaker. You have the opportunity to be a literal superhero the way we see you if you just want to pick up your cape and put it on. Or how you respond to, treat, talk to, speak could be the difference between whether or not I make it or I go home and blow my brains out. You punch that clock at 5 and you go home and you have dinner with your family and you get to take a break. We don't get to do that. I bring the humanity back to this. We are not your case numbers. We're not your file folders. We're not your dockets. We're not your evidence stored away in a freezer to be lost and never tested. We are your mothers and your daughters and your sisters and brothers and babies. This affects 1 in 6 children under the age of 18. And if that does not piss you off, you are not paying attention to what I just said. That's one too many for Angelique. And I don't want anybody to be like I was. Don't wait until you get raped to care about it, because it happens to 25% of women over the age 18 and every 70 seconds in this country. In the time it takes to microwave a bag of popcorn, someone has been sexually assaulted in the most free, civilized nation in all the lands. No, guys, it's a problem that we're not talking about enough. We are not making safe enough spaces. And then, we do everything right. And then you've got the Brock Turners of the world where time and time again, it's, well, but what did you do? Now, luckily or unluckily, however you choose to look at it, I firm believer, change your perspective, change your life. Due to the level of violence in my case, I didn't get, what were you wearing? Well, nobody questioned that something happened to me. But my own boyfriend at the time thought that I did that to myself to get out of probation, because that was more believable to him than what actually happened. So then I go through
It's not
it,
even possible.
Right.
Like, I've seen your pictures. Like, it wasn't even possible to do that to yourself.
If I would do that, okay, stay in the psych ward forever if you're capable of doing that to yourself. So I'm dealing with the trauma, and then I'm at home. I'm dealing with the it's your fault. You went with him. You did this. You wore that. And this is the person that I'm with or supposed to be with. But then in publicly, he's all over the news, and I made a Facebook page. We're gonna find this guy, and it's like, who are you? Because now you're kind of like giving me monster vibes, also. Um, when they finally connected the dots that they called me, my victim's advocate called me at 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, this happened in July. This was probably September. And she said, Angelique, we think that the guy that did this to you is a serial rapist. And he's doing this in Ocala, which we found out later is where he lived with his wife of 25 years and his 3 teenage daughters at the
Oh
time.
my God.
Still to this day, that one is just, I can't, as a mom, as a woman, I could take one look at my boyfriend's stupid face to tell if he's lying to me. You didn't know something was, you didn't suspect, you didn't. Through the details of the investigation, as well as the investigation discovery show that featured his wife and his children talking about how difficult all of this was for them, I learned he used his in-laws' van to pick up one of his victims, and there was a box cutter in the van, and she grabbed it and cut him, and that's how they got his DNA. You go, girl.
Mm-hmm.
I never had the honor and privilege of meeting her, but thank you to her. Um, the next day, he had a big old gash right in the middle of his forehead. Obviously, his wife and kids are probably asking, hey, dog, what happened to your face? He said he cut himself. The trunk, he was working on the van, and the trunk, the hood. So then he asked his eldest if she could super glue his head back together. Her words, not mine. It's on Investigation Discovery. It's called The Devil You May Know. Check it out. Family Man is the name of the episode. And then he sent her with a bucket to go scrub his victim's blood out of the back seat of his in-laws' van. He had his
Are you
daughter.
kidding me?
No, ma'am, I'm not. He had his daughter clean up his rape victim's blood out of his in-laws' van. Type 4. Total type 4. No, there is no empathy. There is no compassion. There is no nothing
No.
good that lives inside of him. He is truly a monster among us.
Yeah.
They decided to go forward with, the mystery DNA. This is my favorite part of the story. Whose DNA is in Angelique's panties? This is my favorite part. So we have DNA in Angelique's panties, right? Angelique has a boyfriend at the time. Angelique's DNA is in her own panties. Makes sense. We've got a foreign substance, male DNA, that was enough of a sample they could completely exclude my boyfriend at the time. Yet not enough, even though it had similar markings to the sample they had of his. It wasn't enough to definitively conclude it was. So still to this day, whose DNA was in Angelique's panties is the $1,000,000 question. I'd like to think we all know the answer to the $1,000,000 question. But because they had stronger DNA in the 2 cases 40 miles down the road, I knew when the district attorney, Mr. Avon, I don't know if he's still there in Marion County, but he is amazing. One of the best state attorneys I've ever met. He's a real human being that understands and gets it. And he went to bat for these women. And he believed all of us. And he had no problem doing his job. And he didn't care how much money it cost. He called me for a deposition. Florida has this thing in their law that's called the Williams Rule, which means, let's say, so in my instance, this happened to me in Gainesville. Ocala's 40 miles away. If you can prove that the crimes are similar enough in nature, you can call me from Gainesville to come testify in the Ocala cases.
Okay.
So they called me for a deposition. I hadn't, at this point, we're almost 2 years in. It's 2012, 13-ish. I haven't heard anything from the state attorney. I haven't heard anything from anybody in the legal arena.
That whole time. Well,
Obvious.
after the
I heard when they
initial.
arrested him, but
Yeah.
fun fact, this is one of the best parts of it all too. Sorry, it's all over the place. Just trying to recall it. It's like
No, you're fine.
the night he got arrested, and his daughter talks about this on the ID show that they did. I mean, it was like the mood. They sent the choppers with the spotlights and the K9s, and they came about 50 deep with the. They really did, and they arrested him. It was October 12th, I think. Sometime in October, maybe October 12th is when, I can't remember. October the 12th has some significance. Maybe that was the sentencing. I don't know. Sometime in the fall.
2 years later.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the night they arrested him, I was also coincidentally in jail myself. And I look back now, and that is exactly where I needed. God had me exactly where I needed to be in that moment, because had I not been, I don't know that I would be here. I really did. But when the satellites news trucks started rolling in, they said, yeah, we're tired of these media requests to come talk to Angelique at the jail, so we're just going to let you go. So they released me, and I went home. And then I started studying him. Would you believe me if I told you his name was Michael? I told you it started with an M. The brain is such an amazing, amazing thing. To have been beaten in the way that I was and have a blood alcohol concentration of 0.24, which is legally dead when you're my size. I was a professional drunk girl. I mean, I was good at what I did when I did it. And I really did it. And I just knew it started with an M. His name is Michael Allen Fry. For those of you that are interested in looking him or me up, there are plenty of media articles in the Gainesville, Florida papers. But my favorite article that was ever done was done by a wonderful reporter named Vic Michelucci. He now does work with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Department in Florida. And he came to my house. And when I opened the door, obviously he was like, because it was like 10 days, 11 days after. And he was just begging me, Angelique, you've got to let me blur out your face. No, I want people to see my face. This is real. This is real life. And I remember him, we did the interview. I remember him packing up his camera and going to leave. And he told me that I was one of the strongest women he'd ever met. And I did not feel that in that moment. And I've been very surprised, and I'm sure you will have had similar experiences. I find a lot of the disbelief and the rape culture myths and perpetuate, I get more of that from women when I share my experience than I do from men. And I don't know if I'm just a little disheartened by that or absolutely horrified. Because I don't know about anybody else, but I need my sisters. We need each other. Empowered women empower other women. We don't fight them. We don't judge them. We embrace them, flaws and all. What a boring world it would be if we were all alike. And the other side of it, right? Because it's all this ugly. I met the worst, absolute worst that humanity has to offer. But through it, I have met so many wonderful, beautiful, amazing people that have created and held space for me in this. I did a lot of advocacy work after this in Florida. I had the honor and privilege of speaking at their Take Back the Night rally at UF, which was just still to this day, I'm just like, I can't believe I was there. I thought I was going to go out and talk to like 5-10 people. There was like 120 people. I was like, oh my God, this is insane. Just this last April, I had the same pleasure and honor, only at the University of Colorado Boulder. Shout out Buffaloes. Got to do that there. Oh gosh, what else have I feel like I just do all the things. Anytime anybody is doing something and they need a survivor to come share their perspective, I'm like at the top of the list, because it's hard to find people that are comfortable in sharing what they've gone through. But for me, I'd be uncomfortable if I didn't, right? Because it made me who I am. It does not define me. There's a fundamental difference. It doesn't consume me or define me. It made me who I am. It's like I walked right into my purpose instead of having to figure it out. I didn't walk. I was beaten into it actually, but hey, we're here. Who cares about the road and the way, or the route, so to speak?
There's a reason you're such an amazing storyteller.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I feel like I just babble and ramble a lot, and
No.
it's like neurotic Nancy all over the place. So we've got neurotic Nancy, psycho Susie, and spiral Sally. Those are my three best friends that live in my head.
Hey, why not, right?
And then when they all get going to the party together, oh my, what a time.
No, I'm telling you,
we
I mean,
have.
you have an incredible story, but the way you tell it and the way you can feel it.
Thank you, because that's all, that's what I want to translate.
Yes.
It's not, it's that.
Right.
It's
It's
that.
not like for attention. It's for like
Never.
for people to feel it because
Yeah.
there's so many other people
Yes.
just like you out there
Yes. And
that can't
yes.
talk like you can. That
And
can't tell a story.
And I want all of them, every last one of you, to know I see you. I hear you. I believe you, and I fight for you every day. And as long as I can stand on my feet and take air in my lungs, that will not be a thing. It's why I'm here. And I'm so grateful to be here. One of the many positives that came out of this for me is my new perspective on life. You change your perspective, you could change your life. If it don't apply, I'm gonna let it fly. If nobody's bleeding or dying or in threat of loss of limb, it ain't that big of a deal. You won't catch me getting tight if the Wi-Fi goes down. I call that a break from reality. You're not gonna catch me getting worked up. Somebody cuts me off in traffic. You're gonna catch me driving a little slower, rolling the window down to smell the breeze. Because I know how quickly I cannot be here. Tomorrow isn't promised to any. Do it now. Eat the cake, take the trip. Tell that person you love them. Do it. There is no such thing as a perfect time for anything. If God put it on your heart, do it. And that's what this is. I see things online. Maybe something I've gone through could be valuable to somebody else. So then I fill out the little form and then I drive to Tennessee and I'm here. And I find so much value in that. I really do mean it when I say I don't need to know you to love you. Because that's what we all have the capacity to do. And even though I've met the ugliest of the ugly, my capacity, it gave me more of what he lacks. I am so much more empathetic, compassionate, understanding, less judgmental, more aware, not hyper aware. And that's hard. Some PTSD, it rivals that of a combat veteran.
Yeah.
I talk to one a lot. We have a lot of similar experiences. It's just a different battlefield. That's all. The war was just fought in a different place. But when the war is in your mind, you can't just take off your boots and leave it, so to speak. It doesn't end with when I return from deployment, so to speak. It's constant. And it is a battle. And I think oftentimes, especially in systems-based advocacy, you feel left. You feel abandoned. You feel forgotten about, because once they're done with your case, or if there is no case, their work with you is also done.
Right.
I will never be a systems-based advocate. I am a freelance community. You're not gonna put the tape over my mouth and tie up my hands. If you're failing, I'm gonna tell you. If you're not getting it right, you're gonna know it. And if you create a rate kit backlog and then don't want to fix it, you're gonna hear me. Especially when it's going on where I consider my home. Yeah. I was so excited to go home when I left Florida. I was worried. They're not going to have these issues. I'm not going to be able to advocate. Boy, was I wrong. And then it really kind of, okay, now I'm in a new space. Why is there so much politics in this? Why is there so much? This is not a crime where we have space for politics, budget arguing, and bullshit, to be frank. This is a real humanitarian issue. It's not a property crime. But why do we see stronger sentences for auto theft than sex assault?
Jeez.
Valid question, and I'll wait all day for somebody to make it make sense.
They probably want to run when they see you coming. You keep them all on their toes, and
I'm
God,
honest.
I love it.
I'm honest because I can't afford not to be. I have no time because of what I went through. You want to piss Angelique off quickly, waste her time on purpose. That'll get her done. I don't have time to waste about anything in any arena of my life. Not just this one, relationships, jobs. I don't have time My time is not money. It's valuable. It's not about money, it's paper. It's literal paper. It's the most necessary evil in all the world. Time is the most precious commodity that we all take for granted and think we have more of that we can never get back. I can't get that day back. And if God came to me right now and said, you do get a do-over, I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't have it any other way, and I mean that.
Yeah.
This introduced me to me.
I mean, look at you now.
It introduced me to myself and my purpose and why I am on earth. I am a huge Beyonce fan. I had the absolute wonderful honor of getting to see her on tour last summer in her hometown. And she sings a song called I Was Here. I don't know if you've ever heard it.
No, go ahead, say what you're going to say, and then I'll tell you.
That's what this is for me. I just want to be a part of and leave something that lives beyond me that meant something to somebody else. And if I could bring them just a flicker of anything positive, hope, happy, joy, anything positive and productive, I was here.
That's been the song that, okay, I don't know if I'm going to get through this. I was a first responder for a high school shooting for psych services.
Girl, I'm living in Littleton, Colorado, and we all know which one that was.
I had 11 kids, and this was in Ohio, in Chardon, Ohio, and 11 kids they were right behind the shooter table, and my daughters, especially my oldest, God, this was 2012, so I can't even do numbers right now because I can't think.
13 years.
Yeah, they're 30 and 24 now. My daughters are. But that was
sidebar. You do not look old enough to have
Botox,
grown
baby. It's the Botox.
Well, keep doing it because you look amazing.
Thank you. That was my oldest daughter said that's the song that reminded her of me, and that's gonna be like our like the song that's related to our foundation.
I had no way of knowing that, and that is God.
And I've never like said it out loud before.
What I'm talking about. That right there. And Angel is the first 5 letters of my legal government name. Remember that old school show, You've Been Touched by an Angel? Mm-hmm. There you go, girl.
We just lost your sister.
Yeah, she's losing it because we are emotional train wrecks we co-conductors of the Hot Mess Express. Choo. Wow, yeah.
You are going to get me in trouble because I keep laughing. And
it's a great time to laugh. Inappropriate humor is also one of my many talents and gifts.
Same.
Ill-timed humor. It's such a gift. I
will laugh at the darkest shit sometimes.
Oh, God.
Right?
And then I'm looking at around people that don't know me. I'm like, they probably think I need real help. Been in therapy for 14 years, guys.
Yeah.
Such an amazing story there, too. I got back on the bus. And I opened a phone book literally, and it was a woman. And her name was Sarah Atkinson. Shout out to Sarah Atkinson at Change by Choice. For those of you that live in or around the state of Colorado, if you need help of any variety, she saved me. I would not be as healthy and as intact as I am without her. She is so much more than just my therapist. That woman is an angel. And I opened up a phone book, found her randomly. I walk into her office, 2 bus transfer, first time I've been on the bus since the assault. So I am frazzled. We'll just say I like to compare myself to a frayed electrical wire hanging in a Category 4 hurricane. Just one incident away from a zip, and there she goes. I found her. I got to her office, and I'm like, and we start talking. I sit down in the therapist chair, the quintessential couch, and I look up, and I'm hanging up on her wall is a picture of the Royal Gorge Bridge. Very famous, the world's tallest freestanding bridge. It's in Canyon City, Colorado. I recognized it immediately. I'm in an office in Gainesville, Florida. Where did you get that picture, and have you been to that bridge? She says, oh, yeah, you know where that's at? I said, yeah, that's the Royal Gorge in Canyon City. She said, oh, I grew up in Wheat Ridge, born and raised. I said, ma'am, excuse me? Because I'm from Colorado. That's beyond me. There are no such thing as accidents, as coincidences, or luck. I hate it when people say, I'm so lucky. No, you're blessed. There's a fundamental difference. There's no such thing.
Yeah.
And I've been working with her ever since her. I've had the same therapist since that incident, and I just talked to her on Thursday. Sarah Atkinson, changed by choice.
How did you get sober?
Oh, that's another fun story.
After going through all, I mean,
I woke up in a public city park in Montrose, and I said, Ange, once again, we put ourselves in a very compromising situation behind alcohol. You are 32 years old. It's time. This isn't fun anymore. You're putting yourself in jeopardy and danger and ew. Buckley Park? Like, ew. What am I doing? Falling asleep at the trash bag park? Like, no. And then my mom, who is also an angel and a survivor and an absolute gangster. My mother is G'd up from the feet up. And that is a true story. And she is my hero. When people say, who do you look up to? Most people say this one, that no, my mom. My mom is everything I ever want to be in life. And I have an older sister that is absolutely amazing. 2 of them, 3 of them. 1 by blood, 2 that I choose. Because that's the beauty of being an adult. Your family is whoever the hell I decide it gets to be that day.
Yep.
And she decided to get sober way before I did. My mom struggled, and I know now as an adult why. My mom's a survivor also. My grandmother, generational. That's a thing too. But she came to pick me up with my sister from the park. And my mom took one look at me, and I think she probably saw herself. And she said, baby, you got to go to the doctor. Like, you need it. My sister, my biological, you could give her a ride. I leave her here. She wants to sleep outside the park. I'll go get her bags and drop them off. Tough love. She's always been more of a tough love, and I love that about her because it's right on time. Sometimes when I need it. Yeah. Not for nothing. That woman is not going to, she won't sell me short. She's going to be honest, real, and in a way that she's not doing it to cut my soul or hurt my, she just loves me that much. She cares about me and respects me enough to keep it a buck. I don't want yes people around me.
Right.
I don't need, but don't co-sign my best ideas because my best thinking got me here. So we need input from others. Yeah. But she took me to a facility in Grand Junction, and I had to be medically detoxed. I would have gone into alcoholic seizure level withdrawal. Like I had to wake up, drink in the morning to level out type alcohol. I was bad. I was very, very, very sick. And I detoxed, and then I went back to my mom's, which my sister was not happy about, and rightfully so. And we tried to find a rehab. Funny thing, if a judge isn't telling you gotta go, that's about 30 bands out of pocket if and when you've got 6 months of whatever to wait for a bed.
Yeah.
By the time a bed finally opened up and I got my insurance, and I'd already been sober for 60 days. Just at my mom's, just waking up, doing things, and making a decision every day. I'm not going to drink today.
Right.
And I love when people ask me, well, what did you do? How did you do? I didn't do anything. I wake up every day and say, I don't want to drink today. He takes it from there. Yeah. Just like when I sat at the tree asking him to save my life that morning in the park, God, just take the taste. I know that it hurts him too. God does not want us to suffer and hurt and live in miserable pain. And he doesn't want us to kill ourselves numbing it either. Right. He wants joy and peace and laughter, and God is love. God ain't sending nobody to hell for who they choose to love, people. Those 2 things cannot coexist in the same space. You can't claim to love him and hate his people. Not how it works. But there's a whole lot of that going on in 2025, ain't there? Oh, I'm a Christian. Are you? Are you though? Are you sure? Because wasn't that you on Facebook saying send all the Mexicans back to Mexico? You can't claim to love God and hate his people. Not around me. I won't let you. Right. I won't let you get away with it. I'll call you on it every time. I don't do ugly. I don't like that kind of ugly. Ugly just to be ugly.
Mm-hmm.
No, let me give you a reason. And then you could be ugly, by all means. I don't have time and patience for anything that is not productive, positive, healing, safe
Mm-hmm.
spaces. I'm all about creating safe spaces. And I know it's such a cliche, but when you are treated like a thing, because that's how dehumanizing this man treated me, like this tissue
Mm-hmm.
or gum on the bottom of his shoe or some other inanimate object. And then the system puts your life next to a budget and decides you're not worth it. And then you just get failed time and time and time again. I ended up having to retain an attorney. They weren't even going to meet with me. They have a statute, 2.5 years to press charges. And if they don't, you just won't hear anything. So I got an attorney, one of those types with the name on the shout out Craig DeThomasis. He's an amazing man. I think he's a judge now, actually. I think if I recall correctly, like a I can't remember, but um, he represented me pro bono, and he got me a meeting. And we went in, me and him and the victim's advocate, and we got the whole, oh God, we're so sorry, but we're not. We walked out of that office. This man had been practicing law for a long time. We walked out that day when they told me, we're sorry, but we're not. You're not going. We're not charging him in your case. In the parking lot, he put his hands on my shoulders and he said to me, Angelique, today I'm ashamed to be a lawyer and I'm so sorry. And then I told him, like I tell everyone, you don't be sorry, you didn't do it. I'm not going to let you apologize for somebody else's absolutely egregious behavior. To any potential prosecutors out there listening, please stop failing us. If you have a victim that is willing to put herself in that box and go through that, let her. They need it. It sets us on such a better trajectory toward healing when we can get something that looks like justice. Reporting wasn't an option for me. I didn't have a chance to go home and take a shower and decide whether or not I wanted to do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
For those women that do, I encourage, please report. Even if nothing comes of it legally, go get the exam.
Mm-hmm.
Please report. It's worth it. It is worth it because these guys don't stop doing this statistically, and they seem so normal. He was married. I don't know how you can do that and go home and look your daughter in her face. How are you capable?
3 of them.
Three.
3 daughters.
Coincidentally enough, I would lay down. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just keeping it real. I would lay down every God, hurt him like he hurt me, make him hurt like I hurt, and I will beg you to forgive me later. A year to the day into his prison sentence, and I cannot make this up, his youngest daughter drops dead, and that daughter shares the name of my baby's father. If I'm lying, I'm dying. I was Googling, like I often do, I just Google every once in a while, and there popped up her name and her obituary, and I think she was 15, 16 at the time. Now, sociopath be damned, I'd like to think that hurt him a little bit. That was his baby. You're not going to convince me it didn't.
Is he in prison?
For the rest of his life, plus 30 years. And I was at the sentencing. The judge told him in that 30 years, that's just because I can. I sat right behind him. We had a whole moment. He turned around and looked at me, I lost it. Fuck yeah. They let me for a solid 3 minutes before they pulled me out. There wasn't anybody in there that didn't already know who I was. My face was all over I was very... But man, oh man, the things people said about me. Oh, I looked up her record. She was drunk. She deserved it.
Like, who gives a shit? That has
Oh,
nothing
she
to
took
do
a
with
ride
it.
with a stranger. What a slut.
That's always just people that want to feel relevant.
That allows them to preserve their psychological sense of safety. See, because if they could blame me, it can't happen to their wife, daughter, mother, sister, auntie, son, brother, nephew. But one of my favorites is for law enforcement. I love to do presentations for law enforcement, and here's why. Listen here, Johnny, deputy new guy, Barney, Fife, if you will. You would never get a dispatch call. A, somebody stole my car. Well, what kind of car is it? I got a 2022 Lexus SUV. Wow. If you wouldn't have had such a nice car, they wouldn't have wanted to steal it. They never do that. So why do we do that when it's rape? And I've literally made deputies cry with that. I've had deputies approach me and say, Angelique, until I heard you speak, I didn't realize I was part of the problem. And I don't want to be part of the problem anymore. That's why I share my experience with anybody that is willing to listen. If you feel empowered, I won. If you are no longer want to be a part of the problem, that's a huge win. And not for me. That's a win in the world. That's a world win. That's a double dub. It is for education. I didn't realize how much I didn't know about this topic until I experienced it myself. I didn't realize that the secondhand re-traumatization at the system is such a prevalent issue in this space. I didn't realize that 97%, I think is the statistic according to the feds, 97% of convicted sex offenders do not spend a day in jail. And in the beautiful bicentennial state, we spend more annually on sex offender treatment and management than victim services. Working on it.
Were you ever able to, when you were able to see him in court, did that help you get some closure a little bit?
It did. Screaming F you in his face, making direct eye contact was just about as awesome of a victim impact statement as I could have hoped to get.
Yeah.
And the fact that they let me hang out a couple extra minutes before they.
Right.
The most beautiful part of that day, after it was over, obviously, we go outside the news, people, oh, Angelique, we want to. One of the other women, we knew. I looked at her, she looked at me, and we both just knew. And she ran over to me. This woman was in her late 50s and a grandmother who had a drug addiction and was making her money in sex work, which is work, by the way, people. Sex workers are human beings too. And prostitutes can be raped. Yeah. She wrapped me up in a bear hug and she told me in my ear, I promise you, baby, I will do everything in my power to keep him there. And he's been there ever since. And every time there's a real strong tropical depression headed for the Florida coast, Angelique sends some prayers up because I am human too. And I don't think that my real peace comes until that day when I get the notification that we've jumped from the top bunk of cell block 6, or maybe we've had a little incident in the shower, or whatever the case may be. Yeah. I struggle still all these years later. She could tell you I'm really hard on myself about it. Like, why are you still so affected? But then I go back and I look at the images and it's, oh, okay. It's okay to cry, Ange. It's okay to still be very angry. It's okay to be raw and real and unauthentically, unapologetically you. Mm-hmm. You almost died to figure out who that is. Stop apologizing for it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you've experienced this as well. Oftentimes when we become emotive, it's so easy to just be dismissed. Yeah. It just happened to me at a conference. A statewide victims conference, mind you. I was having a conversation where I was interrupted and told, sometimes it just comes off angry and I'm worried that people aren't going to hear you. Cool. Appreciate your feedback. I understand what you're saying. I get it.
Oh, so victims aren't supposed to be angry, right?
What is the cadence when I'm speaking about my almost? So then
is my tone not right?
He bent me over the front seat and then, excuse me, let me get a drink of water. And then he pulled my hair and beat me within what is the inflection? How am I supposed to present that to make it more comfortable for you?
Who said that to you?
Might I add? Somebody that works at an organization in Colorado. It's fine. It's not the first time that person has said it to me. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
I get that a lot. I know I'm a lot. But if you give me 5 minutes, I'll tell you what. And you just might learn something while you're at it. As much as it's hard to be in the presence of, you should try living with it. Right. I tell people all the time, you think I enjoy this? You think it's a walk in the park for me? But I can't turn it off. I can't just wake up and not be me. Right. I don't know how to be less me. And never would I ever dim my light to make you more comfortable. Ever. I'm not watering me down so you could have a sip. No. But I get that a lot. You're excitable. I've heard that a lot. Well, yeah. It's kind of a exciting topic from where I'm sitting. I've been told I'm still angry. I've been told a lot. Pair of lips could say a lot of stuff. Problem for them is I care little, if at all, what anybody thinks.
It's just so easy to judge as an outsider. Not living it.
You'll make some mistakes if you don't judge this book by any one of the covers.
Right.
It'll come back to bite you. I am honest to my own detriment at times, and I will tell on myself before anybody has a chance to. You can ask my boss. I find so much value in presenting all of the worst of myself and my flaws in the way that I see it first. Because if you can't take me in my worst moments of worse, you don't deserve any of what I bring to the table at my best. And that is truly, I know a lot of people say it, but I love saying this a lot. I'll show you better than I could ever tell you. I don't like to talk about it. I'd rather be about it.
Right.
But I talk a lot. I do. I talk a lot, and I talk a lot of shit sometimes, admittedly. But if I'm still talking, you still got a shot. Mm-hmm. If I go quiet, worry. Because I'm never that.
Yeah.
Ever. And it's just a lot of these, I feel like some of our attitudes towards this crime as a whole is just archaic. We are stuck in the draconian ages with the, well, what were you wearing? Listen here, officer. Odds are really great if I'm in this room across from you, you've already got what I was wearing in a bag in an evidence locker. How about you ask me what he was wearing? That's actually something that might be beneficial to your job, which is to investigate, not judge me and blame me so that you could go home with a psychological sense of safety intact that it can't happen to your daughter. I'm here to tell you it can. Oh, it can, and it does. Yeah. 1 in 4 women over the age of 18. That's 25% of the female population. You've got to get that out of your head. Rape, not much unlike an employer, is EOE. It does not care how you voted, how much money you got, what you look like. It doesn't care about any of that. And while we're over here prioritizing politics over people and making this about re-elections and budget and all the other stuff that it's not, you think these rapists are waiting for you to get your budget together to stop raping people? And specifically in states where there are known publicized rape kit backlogs, what message do you think that sends to a serial offender? Oh, it's wide open and they ain't even going to get this kit tested. It is a true matter of public safety. So what I like to do is take away the no. One time in my hometown during Sexual Assault Awareness Month, I thought, how cool would it be if we got our law enforcement officers to take those ribbon car magnets? We'll slap some teal ones on every one of the cars. It's good PR. Whether they believe and support survivors or not, when I'm out here and I see it on his car, I think you do. It's good PR for your department if you can't see it through any other lens. Right. I already knew going in they were going to try to, well, we don't have the budget for that, Angela. We don't. Cool. I spent $30 on Oriental Trading Company, bought 120 of them, and they're in the back of the car. I took away the no. Now, if you say no after that, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go tell the local newspaper that you're the only sheriff in this 6-county deep jurisdiction that didn't want to support survivors during Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So take it or leave it. Your call. They put them on every year ever since.
Girl, I want you in my corner anytime I have some shit.
Oh, girl. I am next level at shit stir upper. I'm one of those.
But it's all the truth.
That's the part. People don't like
Is
it just talking? Nobody wants that. Yep. People want the bullshit.
Yep. They
People
sure
want the
do.
wool still over their eyes.
The truth is way too hard for a lot of people.
Well, the brutality of the truth of rape was very difficult for me.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people understand what it's like to have the most earth shattering, life altering experience you've ever endured be equated to a number on column J on a spreadsheet. My entire existence is just this kid stuck in this thing on this spreadsheet. Backlogs anywhere, but specifically in the state where I'm from. It's just heartbreaking to me. And the Denver Post, to their credit, thank you so much. Shout out Denver Post. They allowed me the opportunity to write an open letter to the survivors that are stuck in Colorado's backlog. And if any of you are happening to be tuned in or listening, I see you. I hear you. I believe you. And I'm fighting for you. And I won't stop until it's done. Every kid, all of them, until it's done. I don't care what it costs me. I don't care what it takes. As long as I'm there, and that's still a thing, I won't stop till it's done. Because somebody's got to do it. And I don't need to know these people to know those thought processes and the dark spaces, I like to call it, and how you look at your phone every 5 minutes just hoping they'll call and tell you nothing, just to know something.
Yeah.
I know what that's like. I know what it feels like to not want to be here. I know what it feels like to wake up every day and wish that for 5 minutes you could just be anybody else. And on those moments of I am so alone, no, you are not. My name is Angelique. Come find me. Social media. I will talk to you. I will come cry with you. Coffee is the nectar of life. I will take you to go get one. I will do everything that I can to make sure that our survivors stick around because I really want them to. And in the same way it takes a village to raise a child, it takes a community to support survivors. And we need more of that loudly and vocally from the people that have the power to do something about it. Stop prioritizing politics over people. This is not a political issue. This crime is different. It is so much different than any other crime we operate with in the world. There is so much psychology in sexual assault, domestic violence. It's so much more than just the act. And not much unlike a car accident. Some of the effects don't start to show up until way later. I have permanent nerve damage in both of my knees, but it didn't show up until years later. I have this twitch in my right side of my face where my eye will spaz out in my jaw, and it didn't show up until years later. I didn't have night sweats and terrors and flashbacks and bad dreams until years later. Honestly, when I got sober, that's when, now that I had a sober, clear, subconscious mind, it still is really intense even now. It will be a lifelong journey.
Yeah.
And then on my bad rape days, as I get so frustrated because Angelique has tons of experience in making her own decisions that train wrecked her own life. But when I did it, hey, I can take that because I did it. To have your life altered in such a fundamental way through no choice of your it's so maddening to me because I'm a fighter. I have been. I was born premature with a hole in my underdeveloped lung and spent the first 14 days of my life in intensive care, just fighting to breathe. It's all I've ever known. It's all I've ever done my whole life. But that part of the fight is the one that just, it'd be easier if I could blame myself. I could understand it.
Yeah.
But what I will never, and I don't care if it's been 5 minutes, 15 years, or 8 lifetimes from now, what I will never understand, how can you be so brutally violent to somebody you don't know? It is a real just lack of human decency. And I met it. And I fought it with everything that I had. and I won. On my worst day, I am free to walk outside and look at the sky and the trees and where I'm from, those beautiful mountains, and be.
And you're such a blessing now, and such a voice.
I try real hard, girl. And on his best day, he's told when he has to eat, bathe, go to sleep.
Oh, they're not kind to rapists or
Oh,
child
no, he's at the
molesters.
bottom of the
Yeah.
prison
Yeah.
hierarchy, right next to former law enforcement. Only way he could be worse is if he was a cop that did this.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, I'm very aware of what goes on there.
Mm-hmm.
Watch tons of documentaries about that too.
Yeah.
Not saying it's right, just keeping it real. Prison rape is a real problem
Yeah.
too. You know, fun idea I just had. Let's try this in a state like, I don't know, Nevada. Let's kick off the program there. Why do we not take sex workers into the prisons? Everybody wins. We're animals. This is biology. Let the sex workers go to the prisons. The inmates aren't beating and raping and hurting each other. She's making her money. The government pays for all of it, which is the best part for me.
Yeah.
I'm half-ass joking, but I mean, really think about it.
Right.
I would love for one prison somewhere in a state where prostitution is legal, Nevada, it's got to be because that's the only one, pilot it and see if your rates go down. That's all I'm saying. When guards are doing it
Yeah.
to female inmates, state of Colorado getting sued for just that right now, that is horrific. That is horrific. I am
Oh, yeah.
a prisoner.
Yeah.
I'm a prisoner.
Yeah.
And you're going to take advantage. That's a special kind of sick, and there's a special seat in hell for you. Right next to the devil with all of the people that do this to children. I am an advocate, but I can't work with children.
Yeah. It's tough.
I know me well enough to know that I'm going to prison forever the minute I find out who did that to that baby. With no problem. We've got to stop feeling like we have to apologize for our feelings too. They're yours and they're feelings. You have them and they're not right or wrong.
Right.
But I hate, we are so quick. You shouldn't feel that way. You shouldn't tell me how the fuck I should feel.
Right.
I feel it. If I could contain it, I wouldn't be feeling it. Use your... Like, I'm supposed to be the one that can't think and has trauma brain. What's your problem?
Right.
It's like the alcohol in advocacy. Somebody, I will wait all day, make it make sense, because God forbid somebody use the number one drug that facilitates sex assaults to facilitate a sex assault at the sex assault conference. You lose your organization, this property liability out the water. We're talking multi-million. Why are we creating spaces for potential disasters when it doesn't need to be there? That's my only thing. If it's an internal, like them only, hey, pour as much sauce all over this as you want. But where survivors are presenting, speaking, when we all best survivor-centered, trauma-informed practices, what are we doing? And time again, such and such organizations having a wine mixer, or we're doing a mimosa brunch, or every dollar from the beer you buy goes to the childhood advocacy. What are we doing? Set up a table, sell Rice Krispie treats, have a bake sale. Right. But knowing as advocates the statistics between abuse and substance abuse, somebody make it make sense.
Yeah.
Because I could give you 500 potential ways this goes south and is disastrous. And beyond that, what value does it have in these spaces? Because I saw it affect everything from the quality of the presentations to an advocate's ability to hold her tongue complaining about how demanding crime victims are. This is your paid job, and if that's your attitude, burnt out much? Bye. Yeah. We don't need that in this space. Not to mention, if I'm the survivor and I'm using substances as a means to heal and cope, and then my advocate is too, and we're all just sauced, who's getting help besides nobody? We all know that vicarious trauma and secondary PTSD and burnout are real, so why couldn't alcoholism and substance abuse amongst advocates also be real? Well, I'm here to tell you it is, because 80% of the ones I've encountered are either drunk or have some type of addiction. I've been offered cocaine by victims advocates before. God. No thanks, but you do you, girl.
It's a problem.
I just want us to have a conversation about it. Because if we've got to get sauced in these spaces to even talk about it, we need to be having different conversations, don't we? It's not comfortable. It's not angels and rainbows subject matter. And I get it. But in these spaces that are for what we're saying they're for, it just seems beyond counterproductive to me. Not to mention, what are we blowing on the cash bar annual budgets at the functions, guys? Could we maybe take that money and put it back into actual victim services instead of the whatever we're doing? Come buy your raffle ticket and get drunk for survivors? Yeah, no. As a survivor advocate and a recovering alcoholic, it doesn't make any sense to me. You're selling my addiction back to me under the guise of helping me. Make it make sense. I just want to have the conversation, that's all. I'd just like to see some actual research done. Alcoholism and advocacy, because you won't convince me it's not a thing.
Yeah.
Doing what they do every day, all day, you got to do something. And I get it, but we don't need to do it here. Not in these spaces. And could we stop centering survivor events around it? It doesn't make sense. And it's not trauma-informed, survivor-centered best practice. If you statistically don't shoot the messenger. I'm not saying, hey, you bunch of drunks, quit drinking. Right. No, you do you. But in this space, at these events, no. I feel like my role in advocacy is to completely flip it upside down and turn it on its head. Because what we've done to this date, it's not working.
Yeah.
More survivors are committing suicide now than ever before in history since the 70s when we started documenting this stuff. So obviously, there's a disconnect somewhere. Something's not working. Somebody who has never had a suicidal ideation is 13% more likely to have an attempt post-sex assault. 33% more likely to think about it. We know these things as advocates. They're in all the basic 40-hour trainings. They're in all the little specialized classes. But these annual training conferences, I'm starting to see that these are just the government's 3-day benders at the state's dime. This is grant money we're using to send these people to these things. And it's not a proper use of it from where this survivor alcoholic advocate is sitting. Am I only one person and that's just an opinion and we all know what they say about those? Well, could be. But I think I'm on to something here.
Yeah, you are.
I just want it to be the true safe space you tell me it's supposed to. But it can't be a safe space if it's not first an honest one.
Yeah.
We got to get real. In the words of the great Dr. Phil, you cannot change what you don't first acknowledge. It's time to get real about your life, he says. I lived in the South for a minute too. So after the DA thing, circling back to my story, he went to prison. He recently exhausted, I believe, what is his last and final. He took his appeal all the way to the Supreme Court. And they said, yeah, no, Psyche Mikey, you're staying in your cage forever. But in that appeal, I didn't know that they can include like such graphic case details in appeals. And in reading that appeal, and this was recently within like the last 6 months, I understand now why they convened a statewide task force towards the end. The level of violence, and you saw with your own 2 eyes how violent he was with me. It got worse. And it got worse. The last one he kept overnight, and he gagged her with like her own undergarments and assaulted her with like a rake handle, like garden tools. And they were afraid that we were going to find one that didn't make it. So they issued, the FDLE got involved. USA Today ran a story. And to their credit, this was July 5th, 2011. He was off to prison for life by October of 2012. So it was, by the time they identified him, apprehended, Florida does not mess around with it. I will say that. And something else I like that they do is they deemed him a sexually violent predator, which is a step above your Colorado just sex offender. He is a sexually violent predator, which is a completely different designation. And to look at him, I look at the man that assaulted me that day, and I see him now. Oh, he's aged 36 lifetimes in the 14 years, and I'm just getting better. I'm like a fine wine. I just keep aging so beautifully. And he just looks gross. Well, you were gross before, but just to see the toll.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe there's a little sadistic in me too, because I like it, and I'm not going to lie about it.
Right.
I like to see you suffer because I still do too.
Yeah.
More than you will ever care. Forget knowing, you don't care.
Yeah. I can't even imagine how many people he probably did rape that never came forward.
You know, girl, I'm not so sure he didn't kill somebody. He
Yeah.
spent time in Alabama too and was off of his meds per his wife. And I'm not, I know from the investigation, I wasn't the first. I was just the
They
first to
pulled that
report
he was
it.
off his meds
Yeah.
card.
Oh, yes. You know, that one. They
Yeah,
like that
yeah.
one. Listen, he decided to wake up and become Ted Bundy Jr. because he was off of his Zoloft. Said no doctor ever.
Right.
Quit it. No, he didn't. This is something that has been in him for a long time. And then I met his dad at court, and yeah, let's just say the apple didn't too fall far from the tree because his dad is cray cray. I mean, like cray cray. Like he was just incredible. I can't believe they're doing this to my son. Well,
Did his wife show up in court?
Nope. She was remarried before he was even off to prison. But in the ID special, I did see some handwritten letters that he's penned to his daughters. Daddy still loves and misses you, so. Ugh.
They have to be repulsed.
Obviously not if we're still writing him. That's still.
Oh, they're writing him
and
too.
him to them, and they showed the letters in the back, and she said it. She's like, well, when we heard I just make them sound so country and dumb because it's just something about a Southern accent. Just no disrespect. I love the South. I'm not saying y'all are stupid. But when you put 15 U's on you sound a little okay. She said that when they heard about the first one, they were at home together as a family watching this on the news. And the oldest joking with him, Daddy, that kind of looks like you. She said he got pissed, got up and like walked into another room. She was joking. But his own family is watching this story on the news, making jokes about how the guy they're looking for kind of looks like him.
Yeah, I mean, in their psyche, they probably never in a million years would think it would actually be him.
Till channels 4 through 38 and all the sharing. They came, girl. They came deep. And then there's everybody sticking microphones in his. Well, I'm supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, and I think they just picked me out because of my tattoos. Nah, they picked you out because the DNA they found on your rape victims matches yours. That's why they picked you, sir. And then her vocal headline. I could show you the article. It was a headline. I'll stand by my man. Like it was Tammy's jam. Oh, yes. Standing by my man. Wife says she'll until DNA comes back. And every newspaper that stuck a camera in her face, that was her story. Until he's proven, till I see DNA. Oh, man, that DNA came back. You never heard a word from her ever again. And then she got remarried. How'd the stand by your man go? I wouldn't want to accept that either. But because of this experience, you don't put anything past anyone because the most dangerous part of the experience that is human is that. Yeah. You never really know anybody. That's my oh, I know her. She wouldn't do that. No, you don't. You know what she's let you know of her. Yeah. But you don't ever really know anybody. And that's terrifying.
It is terrifying, but it is
But
true.
I'm glad I have the knowledge. Yeah. Trust no one. I don't. And I'm not, again, not saying it's right, just keeping it real. I used to, everybody was a good person until they proved to me.
Now it's
everybody's a piece of shit until they prove they're not.
Yeah.
Sorry, not sorry. You could blame him.
Yeah.
But
I think that's really common to feel that way.
It absolutely is. But for me, there is so much more beauty that has come out of this than any of the blackness. I became so much more confident in being comfortable being me. I spent my whole life trying to fit in and people pleasing, and so I would have friends and so people would like me. I was smart and poor and a nerd. I had no friends, and I would latch on to my older sister's friends because I wanted so desperately to be loved.
Yeah.
Still do. Don't we all? It's just the difference between whether or not I'm so self-aware that it is intimidating. I really struggle in relationships because I don't need nothing from you but you. I have my own everything, and I mean it. I
Mm-hmm.
just need you. Time, energy,
Well, if they
effort.
have an issue with that, they're definitely
Not the
not for
one.
you. Yeah.
The guy that I was with in the time that this occurred in Florida actually is permanent restraining order, 11 violations, revenge porn, stalking, pulled into a DA's office, referred to as this. This is just 3 years ago. It was Florida part two. That's what I call it. The DA looked me in my eyes and said, "You're a mess. I can't put this on the stand." Girl, I popped up out of that chair. So this? Who in the fuck do you think you are? This? I'm a human being, sir. But they slapped him on the wrist. Once again, didn't let me have my date. I can't get a stalking. What do you mean? I have a permanent restraining order and he violated it 11? Not one, not two, not twice, not four, not six, 11 times. I'm going to take that shot and roll those dice with a jury of my peers because that in and of itself reeks of stalker.
Right.
Just 2 days ago, he's all over my LinkedIn profile. He's been on supervised probation this whole time. I had to call probation and tell him, hey, he was supposed to get off in April of 2025. I had to call them and tell them, did you know that 3 days after you're terminating his probation, he's got another permanent restraining order hearing on the docket for another woman? Well, no, date. No, we didn't know that, Angelique. Cue up the banjos. Okay, well, now you do. So what are we going to do about it? They gave him 3 more years probation until 2028. Okay, great. You're going to watch him like you have to this juncture because that does what for me exactly? It's your literal legal job while the time he's on probation to watch him and make sure I'm safe.
Mm-hmm.
You've done any and everything but that. He's allowed to file motions in the civil arena, and it's not a violation of his criminal probation because it's the difference between litigation abuse. That's a real thing. He's still allowed to stalk me because you never gave me my shot at going to court for his stalking me because you made it about me. Angelique, you'll be a horrible witness. I can't put you. You're a mess, and they're going to bring up your kids, and they're going to bring up Florida. Yeah, and then isn't it your job to say objection relevance?
Right.
Is it that I'm a bad witness, or are you just an incompetent DA?
Yeah.
See how I flip that coin? You like that?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on. It's your job. Nobody paid me to get stalked
And none of
all
that's
summer.
relevant to that case anyway.
No.
So.
But what they don't realize in doing that to me is that it opened up an old wound that will never heal because of what you guys did when it's your job to do.
Yeah,
that's the part that gets me. You get paid to do this with my tax dollars. Mm-hmm. I'm giving you my money to fail me.
Yeah. So I was just going to say, you've been failed by the system
so many times.
Yeah.
So when I see that system creating a backlog in my state, all systems go, pun intended.
Yeah.
This is just your job. This is the business of my life. Mm-hmm. I don't have a choice in it. See something, I got to say something. I won't be able to live with me if I don't.
Yeah.
Don't invite me to your frat party. Everybody going to jail. This frat's getting cut. We ain't doing this no more.
Right.
They have a frat house on campus at CU called the Brothel. I saw that and went directly to the administration. Paint it. Get rid. I don't give a shit. Do something.
Right.
That is not
did
okay.
They?
Don't know. Need to check back in with that. Hopefully they did.
You're a force, girl.
I try really hard. My ultimate end goal in this space is to make the road not so uphill for the unfortunate ones that I know are coming behind me. I don't want anybody else to have to go through everything that I did. I don't want survivors to keep thinking that there's no way out.
And there's so much shame related to all that. Just the fact that people don't.
You don't need to be ashamed of shit.
Right.
All that shame, that is the offender's cross to bear.
Yes.
And don't let anybody, not the world, not the judge, not the DAs, not even your own hurt brain, don't let anybody try to convince you otherwise.
Right.
This is not your fault. Ever. I don't care what you had on, how much you drank. And why do we do that? Statistically, we're not out here. Women aren't raping other women, right? So why are women being tasked for all the awareness, education, and prevention? We need more male allies. We need strong, good men to stand next to us and say, hey, you know what? We're sick of this shit too. Because man, oh man, if the men got mad about it, change would happen overnight. It does affect men though. And here's why. A broken, abused little girl doesn't just magically grow up to become a healed, functional, healthy adult.
Mm-hmm.
That affects you, sir, when you're going to look for a wife.
Yeah, it sure does.
And it will rear its ugly head time and time and time again. I'm a mom. It will directly affect your ability to function as a parent. I don't even want to get up to how am I going to focus on feeding you?
Yeah.
I don't want to eat because I don't feel like I deserve to eat today. But let me make a meal for y'all.
Right.
The seriousness often gets overlooked. It shouldn't have to be as graphic as what happened to me for you to feel the same way.
Right.
And something else I think we need to start doing, specifically our law enforcement officers and our district attorneys, when you're in these rooms with these women, even if you think she's lying or you don't believe her, the last person in that room that ever better know it is her. And here's why. This is the decision you have to make every time, unequivocally. And for me, it's a no-brainer. Would you rather side with the potential liar or a potential rapist? Because every time you accuse her of lying, that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
I'd rather stick up for a liar than a rapist all day, but that's just me. You do you. But that's the decision you have to make when you're one-on-one with somebody like me in that moment.
Right.
I don't know if it was because I just always am so quick to say it was the level of violence. I don't know if it was the level of violence or just me being me that made them say, whoa, we're not going to give her any of the typical, what did you do? I'd like to think they know I would have lost it.
Oh, yeah.
Even before I got the education, there was no part of me that felt like the assault was
Any
my
part
fault.
of it was your fault.
Now,
Right.
I went willingly. He did not. Girl number 5, he literally knifed to her throat, plucked off the street, and didn't give her a choice of a ride. He was escalating. It was getting they were so horrified that the next one and they were afraid they were going to find a body.
Yeah.
My attorney compared him to Ted Bundy several times. And that was very jarring to me from an attorney's perspective. Because attorneys don't get paid to study psychology now.
Yeah. God knows what would have happened to you, though, if you wouldn't have outran him.
Every girl, I thank God my knees worked. I was so scared I was going to get up to go run and my legs just weren't going to let me. Because they were busted, like open. And he drugged me across that. That's why all that is on my legs and my feet. And I feel like every time I'd get my wits adjust, the back of my head, he beat me viciously, brutally. Like I stole his lunch money or something. Like you would have thought I really just did something to this dude.
Yeah.
Did not know him from a can of paint. And I know that's rare. 74% of sex assault victims know their attacker. I am the stranger jumped out of the bushes anomaly. I know that what happened in my instance is not typical of these type of cases. But I think that's why there's a lot of value in sharing too, because that's not to say that these type of people aren't out there married with 3 teenage daughters operating amongst us. Yeah. I don't know that I'll ever be able to wrap my head around that. I don't think I'm supposed to. I don't want to understand it.
Well, it's so far from normal.
And then then I say that it's so far from normal, and then Psycho Susie goes, normal? What the fuck's that even mean? That doesn't sound like fun. We never wanted to be that anyway.
Right.
And then Spiral Sally's like, yes, we do. And then Neurotic Nancy comes in and says, would y'all shut the fuck up?
I love that you have it all named.
It's like in my brain. Hey, some people call it multiple personality disorder. I just call it being really in touch with who I am.
Yeah, it's called self-awareness.
My therapist says I'm fine. It's fine.
Yeah. That's all that matters.
She'll let me know if I need to undergo more serious levels of treatment. I love to laugh. Laughter really is the best medicine. And even about this, I've had so many people tell me, Angelique, Rape is not funny. You're the only person I've ever met that can make it funny. And I tell people all the time, rape jokes aren't funny, guys, unless I'm making them about my own rape, because I have every right to do that.
Right.
I've another survivor friend of mine. We got together one night and compared police reports. It is so crazy to me, the similarities. I could not stop telling the investigators that he stunk. Like, it's his balls being musty is like all in my police report. I was really focused on the musty nuts. And then my friend, his breath in her police report, his breath was so nasty. Like, you're in the middle of like horrific attempted murder, and all I can focus in is your BO balls. That was where and just the compare, like, so many similarities, like the instances are different.
Well, your senses
Yeah.
are heightened, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And finding, like I said, it's you're initiated into the shittiest club you never ever wanted to be in, but man, once you're in it, you're in it. And
Yeah.
I personally am in it to win it. Not only am I a member, I'd also like to be the president. And I will speak for you. I will go to court with you. I will go to court for you. I'll be your mouthpiece. I'll be your loudspeaker. I will be your quiet in the dark space. I will be your comfort. I will be your strength. I got enough hope for the both of us. I've got enough faith to move mountains. I just want to help. And I feel like God chose me because he knew that. God knows your heart, see?
Yeah.
And he knows what I have in mind, and it is nothing but good and so much love. It's so easy to feel unlovable when
It
you go
is,
through something
yes.
like that. And of course, your family loves you, and they say and do all the right things because it's your family and they're supposed to. So you don't want to hear that shit from
Right,
them.
right. And they don't, and no one understands.
You feel
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
nobody gets it.
Yeah.
If I had $1 for every time I said, nobody gets it. Nobody understands me. People don't know what this is like.
Right.
And then you find the club, so to speak, and
Yeah.
you realize, oh my God, not only am I not alone, this is a big club. Girl, we got members. We
Yeah.
are like a certified Bloods Crips street gang at this point. Like, the membership is real.
Yeah.
Gang,
Yeah.
for real. And having been in it now for 14 years and in these spaces and trying to help and give back, I'm fighting more resistance from the systems whose task it is to give us the justice than from anywhere else. And I get it. Again, it's not a fun topic. It's not angels and rainbows. But if you think it's difficult to talk about, have I got something for you?
Mm-hmm.
Try living it. And so many of your wives, your daughters, your mothers, your aunties, and your cousins already have. Ask them. Because here's the reality, bruz. You're sitting in a room with 1 in 4 women over the age of 18. 1 of them have been affected. We're in a room with 4 people right now, and 3 of them have. That's the reality of the numbers, you guys.
Yeah.
And that's everywhere you go, in every space you're in. Most women choose not to wear it on their forehead like I do. They'd rather bury it. And I have so much respect and admiration for the women that have the intestinal fortitude to go home, wash it off, and bury it so deep. But it will.
It's
rear
never.
its
It's never
ugly
fully
head.
buried.
I spoke at a candlelight vigil that the Alachua County first female sheriff of Alachua County. She's not the sheriff anymore. Her name is Sadie Darnell. Shout out to Sadie. Love her. She invited me to speak at a candlelight vigil that her sheriff's department was hosting. And they were looking for, you might have heard about this because this was a big story. It got like a dateline of 48 hours. Have you heard of the Christian Aguilar case? The UF student that was killed in like a love triangle. He was kidnapped and then one of his friends murdered him and they found him like in the swamp.
Oh, wow.
And it was all over a girl. Yeah, they have a dateline about it. Just Google Christian Aguilar. The very first place they went to go search for him was where I was assaulted. And at this candlelight vigil, Christian Aguilar's father came up to me after I spoke, holding a picture of his son. I'm still here. He doesn't get his baby back. Mm-hmm. And in that moment, you talk about a reality check. There is always somebody that has it so much worse than you do. be aware. Just be nice. Just be fucking nice.
Right.
It's not hard to do.
Just a little bit of compassion too.
Oh my God.
That helps just a little.
Little empathy.
Yeah.
You never know in any given moment on any given day what anybody else is going through. Act like
That's
it.
a real problem.
Act like it. Act like you know. Act like you got some sense about you and some home training.
Mm-hmm.
That is lost on an entire generation. If I see the way some of these kids talk to their parents in the store, I would not have teeth in my face. My mother would have backhanded me to another planet.
Yep.
With no shame in front of God and everybody. Because in the 80s, you could do that. And it wasn't child abuse.
Right.
It was discipline.
Right.
That's lacking with some of these kids out here. The disrespect is real. Because of what I've gone through, we don't do the D word. I don't recommend making me feel disrespected. I'll take us both to hell.
Yeah.
I don't. I've been through too much. I don't like to be hurt, and my hurt manifests itself as anger, and it's a quick process. I'd much rather get mad. It feels better.
Mm-hmm.
But if you hurt me, like really hurt me the way I see that you did, removal of access is the biggest punishment for you, because I am magical at times. And I know deep down who I am and what I'm made of, and it is good. It was Gandhi that said, be the change you wish to see in the world. And that's all I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's all I'm trying to do. I want to inspire others to be the change they want to see in their worlds. I like to tell people too, when I'm asked, well, why do you choose to do this, Ange? I like to say things like, well, what would happen if Rosa would have went to the back of that bus? What would have happened if Martin would have never walked across that bridge? Somebody's got to do it. Who better than me? I like to think there's a reason I'm able to so openly share and express and not care how anybody looks at me afterwards. Because for everybody that's doing the standard, I know that there's somebody that's going to do what you're doing. And they're going to feel what I'm saying, not just hear it. And that's what I hope for every time. I don't, but do you? That part. That's what I'm in this space to do. That and show other survivors. Hey guys, hey, come over. Come on. I will follow the leader. We will Simon Says this bitch into infinity.
You are supposed to be doing this.
Honestly, there's nothing I'd rather be doing. There's nothing I'd rather do. I have met so many wonderful, amazing, lifelong friends and people.
Right.
I have a friend back home that I recently met. I met her when we testified at the Capitol in March for the backlog in Colorado. Her name is Kelsey. Kelsey, I know you're going to listen to this, and I love you so much. She introduced herself to our legislators. She says, hi, my name is Kelsey, and I am a civilian autistic pet sitter. And she did not give a damn how people were looking at her. She looks at her autism as like a disability. It is her superpower.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
She is magical. And what makes Kelsey and I such a dynamic duo is what she feels she lacks in emotion. That's where I bring it home. I bring to the table the emotion that she feels she lacks. And her, when she speaks, this woman has a double degree in psychology and neuroscience, and she articulates it in a helmets and crayons way that I can understand. And even Spiral Sally is like, whoa, that made so much sense.
Yeah.
She is magical. She has a nonprofit organization called Tracing the Steps that is a survivor-centered kind of, it's a website she's in the process of doing. She has an amazing partner. His name is Josh. We love Josh. Josh is amazing as well. And hopefully, fingers crossed, she's on her way to law school real soon.
Aww.
So I got to meet her. She's also a survivor. On the flip side of that, I don't know if you've ever met someone where you've experienced like weird survivor competitive jealousy. That is the weirdest shit I have ever. Woof.
There's a lot of it out there, too.
It's so weird.
It is.
That is the weirdest. Like, wait a minute. Whoa. We're out here talking about whose rape was better or worse. Like, what? But yeah, I've been on the receiving end of that. I've been told that I am a fraud. I've been told that my fundraiser is illegitimate. Well, if that's the case, why did the Colorado Bureau of Investigation take $6,000 of it? I have receipts. I've also been told that I am, what was the other one? Illegitimate. What was my other favorite? Fraud, illegitimate. Oh, I don't have a right to speak to, about, or anything as it pertains to Colorado's rape kit backlog because I don't have a kit in the backlog. I was told that by another survivor. And I
People are
said,
just so damn ignorant.
girl, bye. If that's your attitude, we don't need you in this space. And I'm going to kick you right on out of mine. You lose access and I won't fight for you. I'll pray for you, but fight now. You're fighting enough of your own shit in your head. It's obvious. She's not there yet. It's the difference between being 2 and 14 years removed from your experience. But fun fact, I'll be damned if exactly what I told her wasn't going to happen to her is exactly. Hey, all these people that are propping you up to get their little all they're going to name after you pass and whatnot. Call me back in about 3 months and I'm going to ask you where they're at. Nowhere to be found. Mishandling and fumbling and denying everybody justice and doing exactly, I mean, to the letter. And I wasn't telling her that to hurt her. I was telling her that because we've got enough bullshit advocate fluff and you needed some truth sauce. I would have given my left arm for my advocate to be real with me. But for 2.5 years, she coddled. And it's a, Angela, I'm hopeful you're going to. Never once did she prepare me for the idea that I wouldn't get my day in court. And that was detrimental to me. And then when I didn't, she was gone. I mean, gone. Blocked me from her email address, and I have never heard hide nor hair from this woman ever again. Also, damaging.
Of course.
It takes 30 seconds to send a text. Hey, thinking of you. How are you?
Yeah.
The officers that worked my case 14 years ago still do every summer. People from the hospital that treated me still check in.
Yeah. As they should. You're always going to come across shit people, which sucks,
oh God, yeah. But be a shit person all you want to, but you ain't going to be a shit person in my space.
Right.
Not, I mean, you can, but don't let me hear it, see it, smell it, feel it. I could stand next to my hair will stand up if you're not a good person.
Yeah.
God put an intuition in me that day that is 90 to nothing. She'll tell you. If I say it's going to, dude, I feel this, that it goes that way 9 times out of 10.
Same.
To an almost psychic point. It's eerie. When I met God that day in the Florida woods, it scared the shit out of me. Everything I ever wondered about, I don't wonder anymore. He's real. He is real. And he lives inside of me and inside of you and inside of all of us. I hate when people say, that little voice. No, you mean the Holy Spirit convicting you? You know that sick feeling you get when you do something wrong? That's God. It's not you. But how self-righteous and grandiose are we to think we're just so smart, magnificent, all the things? No. It doesn't have to be God in the way that I see God and Jesus. But you got to know there's something beyond you. I met it. And it's the only reason I'm here. And I can't not talk about it. Because that's the truth of what happened. How did you get out of there, Angela? I didn't. I sat down by a tree, asked God to help me, and here I am. And that's just the truth of the matter. I'm not forcing my religious belief. That's not what, no, I'm just telling you what it is for me.
Yeah.
Everything that I've done since that day has been of him, through him, by him, about him. I will never stop acknowledging him. Plus, you deny me in front of your friends, I'm going to deny you in front of my daddy, and that's not dice I'm rolling. That's not a chance. I don't personally think there is hell because I've lived it, and if there is something worse than this, I don't want to go. I've met the devil in the human form, and I do not want to meet his maker. Yeah. I am going to be the light. And I am going to shine so brightly, it will burn your cornea. That is my intention. I just want to be and continue to be better every day. A better person, a better friend, a better mom, a better human being. And if that isn't my goal every day when I wake up, what am I doing here? Yeah. What are any of us doing here if we're not trying to be helpful instead of hurtful, honest instead of distrustful? Just be real.
Yeah.
Firstly with you and then with everybody else. Because if you don't even know who you are,
Right.
how can you? I'm hyper aware of who I am, flaws and all.
Mm-hmm.
And I know what I need to work on and I know where I need to improve. But I feel like the difference between me and most is I can have a conversation with a stranger about that
Mm-hmm.
with no fear, no shame, no
Right.
trepidation. None of I almost died to be me. Why am I going to spend time being anything else?
Yeah.
I can't. I don't have it in me. I just don't know how. God made this Angelique and he only made one of me. And there was a time when I could not stand her. And we have come a long way, me and her. And I know you know what I mean.
Yeah. I do.
I wake up every day just so happy to be here. I can deal with anything else that comes my way.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean anything. I am just so grateful to still be alive.
Yeah.
I keep it simple. This week, kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. We kiss ourselves a lot over here. I don't try to overcomplicate my own life or even my own experience in trying to. I've overthought like stuff like this or going when I get invited. I overthink it to death. And then I spend hours writing these beautiful, like well thought out. And then I get there and God says, no,
It's all, yeah.
no,
Yeah.
just be you. And every time I do
Mhm.
it, it's like I black out for a little and then I
Right.
come back.
Yeah.
People are crying and wanting to donate money. And I'm like, what did I say? I don't even remember. Okay, great, great. Oh,
Right.
you need me at your fundraiser? Cool. I don't even know what I did.
Right.
It's like it's
Mm-hmm.
I'm just the messenger. I'm just the vessel. But for whatever reason, I just think God thinks I'm a certified gangster. Is what it is. Because you hear people say he gives his all of his toughest battles
Yeah.
to his strong.
Yeah.
Well, I want off the trials and tribulations plan, big guy, because
That's
good.
what I've said for a long time.
I've
too.
had enough.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, he's like, hey, I saw how you handled that sex assault with such humility, grace, and praise of me that I'm gonna give you a stalker. We're gonna see what you do with that, Perrin. How you like that? All right, big guy. I guess I'm just built for this. I tell like nonprofits and advocates, if you guys need a one-stop shop statistical poster of like everything, we've got sex abuse, child abuse, alcoholism, substance abuse, sex assault, kidnapping, revenge porn, stalking. I mean, save your money on 8 speakers and just call me. Yeah, I can check all the boxes. Just me. But it's true. It's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can't laugh at me, why be here?
Yeah.
I love making people laugh, and it's not, and I don't intentionally say, hey, let me be funny.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just being me. But when I see that me just being myself is enough to give somebody else joy,
Mm-hmm.
it's a reaffirmation of why I made it every time it happens. And I know I'm difficult to be around. She'll tell you, I'm a lot. My energy is a lot, and I will rein myself in when I feel like I'm a lot for me.
Right.
But it's so worth it. If you can just handle it for like an hour, it's so worth it. I babble and I ramble and I talk a lot of shit, but every once in a while there's these little truth nuggets that I will sprinkle.
Mm-hmm.
And I can never stop doing that. I've been called a lot of things in life, but you won't call me a liar. You can't. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't. I'm one of the, I will like physically ill, even a little white lie. Ugh. Even
Mhm.
just talking about it, I have that thing in my stomach. It's not in me
Yeah.
to be dishonest. And it doesn't always end well for me, but I can't not do it because I want that in return. Don't fluff me. Don't bullshit me. Just be real.
Right.
Because real is the only thing I can work with. Full transparency and unequivocal honesty are the only operating spaces I can be in. If we're here for bullshit, fluff filler, politics, and budget, no,
Right.
no, I don't want to be at those tables. I want people to make it through this, the other side,
Yeah.
okay and intact. Not, notice I said okay,
Mm-hmm.
hey, because some days that's the best I I can take, and I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
And it's okay to have a bad day too. It's okay to go there. Just don't stay there. Yeah. And if you feel like you're stuck there, call me. I'll get you right out of that real quick. I'm really good at it. It's one of my other many gifts. Pulling people out of the dark space. That is a space I have sat in so many times for so long. I don't want anybody to be in that space. I don't want anybody to feel like that space is all they have left. Yeah. I want entire survivor-centered communities that are so supportive. It's like making national news. I would like to start Colorado's I want to start something that is just for us, by us, about us. The same way I watched that annual conference of all the I want to do one of those, but like the right way.
Right.
With no budget for alcohol, because it won't be there. We're going to make art and play music and do tattooing instead, because I think that's more productive towards healing instead of selling my addiction back to me. Yeah. Just me. Call me crazy. So I'm in the process. I don't know the first thing about like how do you get something like that off the ground. I'm not a business. I'm a medical biller at my day job, but I don't think that's my destiny. I didn't go through everything I did in the woods that day to be a medical biller forever. Someday this will find its way into a paid space for me, but that is not why I'm here. Let me be really clear about that. That is not why I am here, because I'm already rich that way. Richer than most people I know. In all the ways that you want to be. I don't have a lot of money. I don't have a nice house. By world standards, I am below average and the federal poverty line. That said, I'm one of the richest people you will ever meet.
I believe that.
I see it in your eyes. I could tell. I thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, you guys, for the space and the opportunity. And anybody out there, just know that you're never alone in this. Anybody that has experienced this or something similar, I know it feels incredibly isolating and alone, but I'm always here. There's at least one other person on the planet that gets it, but there's a lot of us actually. Yeah. And we are some of the most resilient, strongest, creative, artistic, beautiful, magical, unicorn, fucking warrior princesses known to man. And although I didn't want to be in the club, now that I am, I think we might make like vests or t-shirts or like pink ladies jackets, circa grease, or like something. The teal ribbon just isn't doing it for me, you know?
I'm sure you're going to come up with something.
You know, I'm gonna.
I don't have a doubt.
I will send you a whole box of merch, both of you.
I would love that.
Gotta laugh. Gotta laugh.
Well, thank you.
You are so very welcome. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for having me.